Okay, everyone, thank you so much for being with us this morning for our presentation. It is 9:30. We know how busy you all are. So as always, we will begin right on time. Welcome, welcome. We will be recording this presentation. So by being involved in this platform, you are authorizing permission for this to be videotaped and uploaded to our website and to use for marketing materials. Additionally, no reproduction or use of this video may be made without prior written consent. However, we do recommend that you share this video because we will be sending this out to you after. We recommend that you share it with any other CAMs or board members or residents that would appreciate the content. Thank you so much for being here this morning for our program, Landscape Installations and Benefits of Artificial Turf. The team from Terra-Scape has a great presentation in store for you today. So again, thank you for being here to learn. We would love to see where everyone's joining in from. So if you would just pop into the chat if you're a board member or if you're a CAM, and we'd love to know what city you're coming in from and how many associations you represent. We always love to see that. Speaking of chat, if you have any questions during the presentation, I ask that you please have them ready, but to wait until the end of the presentation to put them in chat to everyone. And as always, we ask that you keep yourselves on mute so that there's not too much feedback or no feedback. Additionally, at the end, I will be sending in the chat email addresses where you can schedule a consultation for your association with Terra-Scape. It is my honor to introduce Terra-Scape's owner. Please meet George. George was born in Louisiana and moved to New Smyrna Beach area since he was only 6 months old. So he's been here almost his entire life. He created Terra-Scape in 2007 with a mission to build a world-class organization by creating a culture that fosters growth for landscape professionals, stimulates innovation, and as a result, delivers exceptional landscape services. We are very impressed with their work and their team and how they are always looking to advance in their industry. Their vision is to be recognized by their clients, their team members, and experts in the industry as the best landscaping company in the market. Please welcome George Kennedy with Terra-Scape.
Good morning. Thank you, Diane. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with landscape installations and the benefits of phasing. Why is it important to phase landscape projects so that a whole look can be achieved over several years instead of piecing it together? The first item is budget flexibility. Phasing allows you to spread the project's cost over a period of time, make it easier to manage financially. You can also prioritize most of the essential elements first and complete the project in stages as funds become available later. Also, rather than making a large sum up front, a large investment up front, you can invest in your landscape gradually, which may ease your financial burden. Better planning and adjustment. Phasing gives you time to assess the progress of your landscape and adjust plans as necessary. If the first phase doesn't turn out exactly as you envisioned, you can tweak subsequent phases to improve the overall design. You can also see how each phase integrates with the existing landscape, making it easier to ensure that the result is cohesive and functional. Minimized disruption. Large-scale projects can be overwhelming to residents, especially if they require a significant disruption to daily life. By phasing in work, you can focus on one area at a time. You can also continue to use other parts of the property while other areas are being worked on, thereby minimizing the inconvenience for residents. Gradual enhancement. Phasing allows you to make incremental improvements in your landscape so you can start to enjoy some of the benefits right away. For example, installing a new garden bed or a new patio in a first phase can immediately improve the outdoor experience while the rest of the project is being finished over time. This approach also lets you experiment with different plants, materials, design ideas, gradually achieving the final result. It also gives you time to refine the landscaping over the years, adapting to evolving tastes and needs. Environmental considerations and seasonal considerations. Phasing allows you to time different tasks based on seasonal needs, such as planting in spring or fall when plants are more likely to thrive. This ensures that the landscape is being developed at the best possible time for its success. Also, sustainability choices will, with more time, you can make more sustainable choices in each phase. As an example, installing native plants or low energy lighting. Those things can be phased in, allowing for a more eco-friendly landscape over time. Reduced decision fatigue. Phasing in lets you focus on one part of the project at a time, thereby not having to make too many decisions at once. It also allows you to carefully choose each element of the landscape rather than rushing to make all of the decisions up front. After completing the initial phase, you may realize what works and what doesn't. This will enable you to make informed decisions on the next stages of the project. Increased property value over time. A well thought out landscape can increase the value of your property. By phasing in different aspects of your landscape, you can steadily improve your property's curb appeal and functionality. With each phase, you can focus on making high impact changes that provide lasting value and appeal, such as upgrading outdoor living areas and planting more valuable mature trees. Allow for professional input or advice. You can consult experts for specific tasks, maybe hardscaping, irrigation, or plant selection, and refine your design with their advice as the project progresses. Also, as the project takes shape, you can collaborate more closely with a designer or with your landscaper to make adjustments and refine future phases based on your evolving presence. Manageable workload for contractors. By phasing a project in, it gives landscapers or contractors more manageable scope of work, which can help ensure that each part of the project is completed properly and on time. The workload is less intense than attempting to try and do everything at once, and the contractor can focus on delivering high-quality results. Finally, more time to enjoy each phase. As each phase is completed, you can begin enjoying your outdoor space right away. This gradual improvement may help make the project feel more rewarding and less rushed. Also, instead of waiting for everything to be finished, phasing in allows you to experience ongoing improvements. Whether it's planting new shrubs or installing a small patio or installing an outdoor kitchen, each phase can add value to your lifestyle in real time. All right, we want to move on to artificial turf. What are some of the ways that the community or association can save or benefit from artificial turf? Here are some of the pros. The first is low maintenance. There's no mowing, there's no weeding, and there's no watering. All of those go without saying. It's durable. High quality, properly installed artificial turf can last 15 to 20 years, even in high traffic areas, which makes it a durable option for lawns and recreational areas. It is also weather resistant, so it can withstand a variety of weather conditions, including extreme heat or cold, even heavy rain. All of those things can cause natural grass to become muddy or damaged. Aesthetic appeal. Artificial turf always looks neat and it's always green, so it provides consistent aesthetic appeal throughout the year, even in areas with poor shade or areas where grass has previously struggled to survive. It also enhances the curb appeal of a property, especially in areas where maintaining a natural lawn is difficult due to climate or soil conditions. It is cost effective in the long run. Although the initial installation of artificial turf can be costly, over time, residents can save on maintenance expenses such as no more mowing, no more fertilizing, no pesticides, decreased water bills. Also, well-maintained, attractive lawn can potentially increase the value of your property. It's safe for pets and children. Most artificial turf products today are now made with non-toxic materials, making them safer for children and pets to play on. Also, artificial turf doesn't attract pests like mosquitoes, ticks, or ants, which can be a concern when you have natural turf. It does have some environmental benefits. Water conservation is probably the biggest. Since artificial turf requires no water, as water becomes more scarce in various regions, artificial turf helps conserve water as it does not require irrigation. Also, there is no need for fertilizers or herbicides or pesticides, which can have harmful environmental effects. Improved drainage. Artificial turf is the way that it's designed these days. It's meant to quickly wick water away from the surface. So unlike natural grass, which can tend to hold water and become muddy, it's not something that you have to worry about using artificial turf. It's good for all seasons. Again, why natural grass may go dormant or brown in the colder months, artificial turf remains usable year-round. It's ideal for high traffic areas. Almost even the most resilient natural turf is going to have some effect with wear and tear. This is not the case with artificial grass in high traffic areas like playgrounds, pet zones, and sports courts. So always something to think about. And it is easy to clean. Artificial grass can be cleaned with a broom, a blower, or a hose, and even pet waste can be easily removed, making it a practical choice for residents with pets. All right, and now we want to move on to the request for proposal section of the proposal. As a property manager, navigating and comparing requests for proposals, responses is a crucial part of selecting the right vendor or contractor for your project. It requires a systematic approach to ensure that you choose a provider who can meet your property's needs in a cost-effective, timely, and efficient manner. Here are some of the important things regarding requests for proposal. Number one, establish a clear evaluation criteria. Before you start reviewing responses, define the key factors that will guide your evaluation process. Some of the common criteria to include costs. You want to compare your bids and assess if the proposal fits within your budget. Excuse me. Experience and reputation. You want to look at the vendor's experience, particularly with similar properties or projects, with their reputation in the industry. The scope of work. You want to ensure the proposal fully addresses the scope and requirements outlined in your RFP. You want to make sure that regarding the timeline, you want to make sure that the proposed timeline fits in with your schedule. You want to evaluate the quality of service by looking at the customer service approach, their communication and support during the project. You also want to verify that the vendor has the necessary licenses, insurance, and certifications. And you want to determine, if applicable, whether or not the vendor incorporates sustainable practices or eco-friendly materials into their approach. Number two, you want to evaluate a scoring rubric or establish a scoring rubric. So in this situation, you would assign a weight to each criteria that might be important to you. So for example, cost might be 40%, experience might be 25%, and the timeline for getting the project done might be 15%. So with that in mind, you want to create a scale for each of those and then rate your vendors from a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 10. And then during the evaluation process, you want to tally those scores to get a clear comparison across all of the vendors. Number three, you want to evaluate the cost and value. The total cost, compare the overall cost of the proposal. Look for any hidden or additional costs that may have not been clearly stated up front. You want to review the detailed breakdown of costs, including materials, labor, taxes, and any other expenses. This helps ensure the proposal is transparent and that you are not overpaying for any one component. You also want to compare cost versus value. The cheapest option may not always be the best. You want to also consider the quality of work, the vendor's experience, and other factors in addition to cost. Number 4, examine the scope of work. Ensure that the scope of work in each proposal clearly defines the deliverables, the tasks, the milestones, and expectations. You also want to make sure that the scope aligns with the needs of the property. For example, if you need specific landscaping work, the proposal should explicitly outline the tasks and services that will be performed. You also want to identify any value add that the vendor may offer that others do not, like extended warranties, preventative maintenance, or other services. You also want to ask the vendor for references from previous clients or with similar properties or projects. Also, you want to look for evidence of if they're in the example of an ongoing maintenance contract, you might want to go visit some of their existing properties. It's also a good idea if you can evaluate any before and after photos if you're not able to visit any of the properties. Okay, you want to assess timelines and project management. So completion time obviously is very important. You want to compare the proposed timelines for project completion. If one vendor promises to complete the work faster, evaluate whether that is feasible without compromising quality. You also want to consider project phases and milestones. So outline clear milestones and deadlines. A vendor who breaks the timeline down into manageable phases might be more organized and efficient. And then also ask how vendors will handle potential delays. This could be weather or other factors that might be unforeseen at the beginning. 7, you want to review the vendor's communication and customer service. Evaluate how promptly and professionally the vendor responds to inquiries. Good communication is essential for a successful project. You also want to assess the level of customer service that the vendor offers both during and after the project completion. A vendor who offers strong ongoing support can be a valuable long-term partner. Consider vendor fit, number 8. Cultural alignment. Does the vendor's working style, values, and approach align with your property's culture and management style? A vendor who understands your priorities, sustainability, resident satisfaction, budget consciousness, etc., is more likely to be a good fit if they understand it. And then flexibility. How flexible is the vendor willing to be in the event that there might be any changes to the scope of work or timelines or budgets? Number 9, you want to conduct interviews or get clarifications on things that may not have been crystal clear at the onset of the proposals. If there are any aspects of the proposal that are unclear or seem inconsistent, you definitely want to make sure that you get in front of them to hammer that out before anything is signed. Number 10, you want to review legal and contractual terms. Carefully review the contract or agreement that will follow the RFP process. Ensure the terms are clear and there are no unexpected clauses or liabilities. If you have an attorney that you use as an association, I strongly recommend that you enlist them to review this for you as well. Insurance and liability. Confirm that the vendor has appropriate insurance coverage and liability protections in place. And then number 11, make your decision. Using your decision matrix, the scoring system that you put in place, reviews, and all the other aggregated data that you put together, bring all of that information together, narrow down the options, and select your vendor. If necessary, you can narrow it down to 2 and then begin a negotiation process, which may end up working out better for the association in the long run. Okay, and then I want to just run through a couple of items related to how do you communicate this information to board members, and then how do you communicate this information to residents. So with regard to board members, you want to be clear, organized, and detailed. You want to provide comprehensive reports. You want to make sure that all of the agenda notes and minutes are clearly spelled out. And then you want to use data-driven communication. So instead of just sending out communication, you want to back that up with financials, specifics related to maintenance costs. You might even want to use resident satisfaction surveys to ensure that all board members have the information they need to make informed decisions. You want to be proactive and transparent. You want to keep them informed. You want to regularly update them on key issues, upcoming tasks, any challenges or delays. What you don't want to do is wait until the next board meeting to bring up important matters. You want to make sure that you address those issues early on. You want to be very clear about your financials, provide regular and clear financial updates. Board members need to understand the financial health of the property, including income, expenditures, and budgeting. You want to foster an open dialogue, or encourage open discussion amongst board members, get them to share their ideas and opinions by creating an open environment where board members feel comfortable offering their suggestions and asking questions that can lead to overall better decision making. Then you want to do regular check-ins. Beyond formal meetings, it's a good idea just to check in with board members by phone, email, or one-on-one meetings. This ensures everyone feels involved and informed between meetings. You want to present solutions, not just problems. When bringing an issue to the board, try not to just propose possible solutions and be ready to discuss potentially different approaches. This shows initiative and makes the board's job easier when giving them actionable options. You also want to clarify roles and responsibilities when managing projects or issues. Clearly define which decision require the board's approval versus those that you can handle as a property manager. This avoids confusion and streamlines decisioning in the long term. Use technology at your benefit. So consider using board management software to share documents, track decisions, and communicate efficiently. This can be especially helpful for remote boards or boards that are absent or extremely busy. Virtual meetings. If in-person meetings are not always feasible, organize virtual meetings such as Zoom so that everybody can participate. Respect their time. Be concise. While it's important to be thorough, be mindful of the board member's time. Provide key information in a concise and direct manner. If they need additional details, they can always ask for more. Keep meetings on track. During meetings, keep discussions focused on the agenda and avoid unnecessary digressions. This helps maintain efficiency and assures that all important points are covered. Follow up and document decisions. After meetings or discussions, send follow-up emails that recap decisions made, assignment responsibilities, and outline next steps. This ensures everyone is aligned on what needs to happen next. You also want to make sure that you document everything. Keep thorough records of all communications, decisions, actions for accountability, and future reference. This can help resolve disputes and clarify misunderstandings that arise. And then here's a few tips for communicating with residents. Be clear and transparent. You want to keep them informed, providing regularly updates about important events, maintenance schedules, or changes in policy. Be transparent about what is happening in the community. That helps build trust and reduce confusion. Use simple, clear, concise language. Avoid jargon or overly technical terms, especially dealing with complex matters like maintenance or financials. You want to use more than one communication channel if possible. So examples are email, newsletters, online portals, notice boards or flyers, and even text messages or alerts. Be approachable and responsive. Always make time to listen when a resident has concerns, whether through email, phone call, or face-to-face action. Acknowledging their concerns helps to build a positive relationship. You also want to provide responses promptly. Aim to respond to inquiries quickly, even if you don't have an immediate solution. Let residents know that you're working on it and provide them with an estimated time frame. Provide multiple contact options. Ensure residents know that how they can reach you, whether it be by email, phone, or through a community portal. Ensure these channels are well staffed and regularly monitored. Set clear expectations. Clear guidelines are important when communicating policies, rules, or procedures. Be specific about timelines, expectations, and responsibilities. Residents should know exactly what is expected of them and what they can expect from you. And then consistent updates. If there are ongoing issues such as repairs or renovations, give regular progress updates so that residents feel informed throughout the process. Engage residents in community events. Encourage residents to participate in community events, meetings, and feedback surveys. This not only builds a stronger community, but also gives them a sense of ownership and involvement in their living space. Also, host informational meetings. Organize regular or quarterly meetings, in person or virtual, to discuss updates, upcoming projects, and address any resident concerns. This can also be an opportunity for residents to suggest improvements. And then finally, handle complaints professionally. Remain calm and professional when handling complaints. Be empathetic and calm. Understand the issue thoroughly before responding or taking action. Address complaints promptly and follow up to ensure that the issues are resolved to the residents' satisfaction. It's also a good idea to keep record of complaints and resolution. This helps in tracking recurring problems and demonstrates that you are taking concerns seriously. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. I will now ask if there are any questions.
Hi there. So I have a couple questions on the planting schedule. So, a lot of associations, obviously, a big reason for phasing is budget constraints. So, I mean, if someone's looking to do, condos obviously have less grounds, but like a larger HOA, if you're looking at a 3 to 5 year schedule, is that something that's realistic, starting at the front and kind of working yourself through to update a landscaping? Or by the time you're, done, are you looking at redoing other areas again?
So if you're working from a master plan, which we always suggest, a 3 to 5 year timeline with a proper installation, it won't matter. It'll continue to be cohesive as long as you stick to the plan.
Okay. And then for those plans, in recent plantings and things that you all are doing, do you find that properties are sticking to that more Florida friendly landscape so they're not having to replace the main, the larger plants as often? Because I know in some of the older neighborhoods where they, put in plants that weren't really, you know, good for this environment per se, you see a lot of dead space.
Yep, absolutely. So the majority of associations that we work with today rely on our professional guidance. And as a general rule, we always lean with Florida friendly plants to begin with. They're they're not necessarily native, but they've adapted to our specific environments. And those environments might even be different from, let's say, an oceanfront condo to a property that's, a little bit more central in the county. But yes, Florida friendly is definitely the way that most associations are leaning, and that's the way that we as an organization lean as well.
Okay, and then one final question from me. Um, do you, and I mean most companies will, but what's your availability like? Are you able to attend an evening board meeting if you put together an RFP to talk to the board when they're reviewing them?
Absolutely. We attend board meetings regularly, and most of those do happen to be in the evening just because it's generally easier for residents to get there after work, et cetera. So yeah, without a doubt, we're able to attend those meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions why we have this expert with us this morning? Well, with that, thank you so much, George, for taking the time to educate us. And thank you to George and Ken for joining us. Please take this information back to your associations and fellow CAMs and residents. We sincerely appreciate your time, and we got it done in 30 minutes.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day.
Thank you.